The Jolt. This is The Jolt with Larry Flick on Sirius XM-LQ.
All right, Katharine McPhee is in the room.
Hello.
And she's licking her lips.
I'm licking my lips.
That is the new single by Katharine McPhee. That's a spicy track.
Thank you.
And she's actually covered up today because, in the video, it's...
I know. Isn't that funny? In real life, I try to be more...
Look, she's pulling...
Mm-hmm. There's
pulling
a little
her,
slit in this
little
dress.
Slit,
and
what they
I'm
call that?
showing you more skin.
A little more skin. Always works with the gay guys, right?
Let me just lower this here.
Just lower it, baby. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you.
Always
too.
good to see you.
I love your interviews. They're lovely.
It's really, really nice to see you. Of course, you know Katharine McPhee from many, many things. She is on the CBS show Scorpion.
Scorpion. Yeah, can you believe we wrapped April 1st and I counted it. I said, okay, I have 12 Sundays. That's all I got. 12 Sundays to just wake up and just relax and do whatever I want. And I think it's almost over. We go back to work July 6th.
Are you excited?
I am excited. Yeah. I'm still like, if someone was like, you have to go back to work, the plans have changed tomorrow, I'd be like, no, I still want my 2.5 more weeks. I don't even know how much time it is, but I will be. I'm getting really excited to read a script. That's always like the fun thing that, getting an email that says like Scorpion season 2. That'll be fun.
That'll be really fun because
yeah.
It's so hard for a new show to connect.
Right.
It's really, really hard. And it's for the fact that this show not only is connected, but I bet that it's an old-fashioned camera. You can hear the clicking.
I know.
No, it's good. It's good. It's all good. It sounds very glamorous.
No, it's true. Like, when you shoot a pilot, and you always are unsure about certain things. Like, you always run things by your managers and say, well, I don't know what if I do this, then I can't do that or whatever. And I do that with almost everything. You always want to ask questions. So like when I was thinking I was going to maybe get Scorpion, I was asking my managers whether they thought I should do the pilot or not, and they're like, listen, you should do it. It's a well-written pilot, and you just never know what's going to happen. Like they literally like, it probably won't get picked up because they're not because it wasn't good, but because like you just the chances, it's like winning the lottery when you get a show that picks up on the air, and then the odds of it actually making it past like 10 episodes. But our show's just been huge. Like
it's been huge.
People found an audience was found right away,
and people love it.
Yeah.
People are very, very passionate about this show. It's really sweet. It's really, really cool. But while you've got that going on, you and I have been talking. Every time we stop by, I'm like, okay, so where's the new record? Where's the new record? Where's the new record? And it's done.
Right.
It's done, and it's
well, I think you probably. I don't know if you remember this. Last time I saw you, I think I'd mentioned that the record was kind of done.
It's been done for a minute.
It's been done for a minute, and then we're always going back and revisiting certain things and tweaking stuff. But yeah, I would have wanted to put it out last year, but Scorpion got picked up, and then there was not enough setup time.
I know, but this is good because it's better, I think, to have the record come out on the heels of something really successful.
Yeah.
So people are wondering, well, what is she doing? What's Kat doing during her break? She's got a record,
right?
And you got some really cool people on this album. So let's talk about this record because you've got Isabella, who has worked with Florence and the Machine, and you've worked with Sia. That's got to be crazy.
That was crazy. I worked with her when I was still. Smash hadn't even started shooting the first season. And I met before I was going to move to New York. They'd started setting me up with some writing sessions in LA, and they said, Sia and this guy Chris Braid want to get in the room, and we wrote 2 songs together. She's so cool. She was actually about 15 minutes late, so I was there with Chris by myself, and I had an idea for a song. So we started it, and when she came in, the audience should know that this was before anybody really knew. If you knew like some of her her early stuff when she had that track on 6 Feet Under, the TV show and stuff. But this was before she wrote the big pop hits for other artists, and this was before she had her hits as a solo artist now. So, but she's still like amazing. Everyone knew how amazing she was. But when she came in, she really liked what we'd started, and then we finished the song right away, like recorded the vocals that day. The song that will come out on the album will be the original vocals from like 2 or 3 years ago.
Wow.
But I remember asking her, I was like, so, you know, what do you do? Like, do you write with a lot of people? She goes, no, you know, she had this great accent. I told my managers, I just want to start writing pop songs for pop artists. I just want to write pop songs. And I was like, oh, wow, that's so cool. And literally cut to like 6 months later, I don't remember what her first Shine Bright like Diamonds, the song with Rihanna, and just started getting all these huge placements with these big artists. And, you know, I just felt so, and then like I wanted to go back in with her, which my schedule was difficult too, because I was on Scorpion on Smash. But it was like one of those things where it's like, it's gonna be close to impossible to get back in with you.
Yeah.
Because she just became so wanted and wrote all these huge songs, and it seemed like such an easy thing for her to do. So,
isn't that funny?
So it was cool that I got in with her so early on.
That's amazing. So,
and I've seen her, you know, around town. She's the sweetest woman.
She's very, very sweet. She's super shy. She's, you know, gets shy to the point of being skittish around people.
Yeah, but she's not like that when you're in like a.
Well, no, when she's in her safe creative zone, I'm sure she's very open and lovely.
Oh yeah, but super sweet. Like there's a real sweetness to even her, like her funny comedic side of her. Everything's But yeah, I could see that she's probably uncomfortable with the exposure, right?
Yeah, but you know, I mean, that's part of what, you know, part of the process is learning how to navigate and then finding your way to do it. So the album that we're talking about by Katharine McPhee comes out on July 24th. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know. That's not the date.
That's not the date? Do you have a new date?
No, they don't have a date. No, that was supposed to be the date, but I guess it's coming out like in September now because
it'll be closer to the album.
No,
I mean, to the show.
Yeah, and that's the only way I can actually do promo. Like, there's no possible way Scorpion will be, like, as much as they love and support me, the producers would never say, oh, yeah, take a week off of shooting and go promote your album in the middle of a season. They contractually could never let me do that. So for people who, like, fans who are listening, that's the real reason, is because that's the only way I can do any kind of cross-promotion, you know. So I have to wait till I'm doing promotion for Scorpion. But it's going to definitely come out this summer. It's coming out.
And the album's called Hysteria. Yep. And Ryan Tedder's also involved on the record, as I understand it.
Well, we co-wrote a song called "Stranger Than Fiction." It's a really great, like, it's kind of got an anthemic vibe to it, and that would maybe be a second single if we went with a second single.
Very cool. So, what does this record? You know, this is not your first record. Is it like your third or fourth?
Well, I don't really count the Christmas album as
I'm not counting it either.
Yeah, so it's a third.
It's your third record,
people
right?
say fourth, but it's my third.
Because you had your post-idol record, then you had the Blonde record.
The Blonde record.
Yes, that's when I remember meeting you for the first time.
Yeah,
the Blonde record. I like to tease Katharine because it's like I remember when you had short blonde hair, and she always shoots me a look like. She rolls her eyes just like she did. I thought it was a hot look. I don't know.
I liked it. Listen, I like when it wasn't after a certain point. It started to like get burnt, like it was getting fried. But my friend Peter, who is a very eccentric hairstylist, who gets lots of people to do crazy things with their hair, he talked me into it. I loved it for a bit. Like it was something you couldn't sustain because it was just too blonde.
Yeah, it was very blonde.
It was so hard on my hair.
Though.
Thank
beautiful.
you. I mean, those pictures from the album cover were beautiful.
Were gorgeous.
Like, we had Ellen Von Enworth who did the photos. So it's
amazing.
Like we're gonna get great photos.
Yeah. But you've been kind of experimenting with sounds. Do you feel like this is this what I've heard from the record so far is very, very straight up poppy.
Yeah.
Joyful, which is really nice. Is that?
Are you just referring to the single? That's all. Yeah. The single is my most like bouncy, poppy, summery kind of flirty song on the album, and the other I've got lots of pop songs but definitely found I would say that the Blonde album, as you refer to it, it was like my learning album. It's
a great record.
Thanks. I wasn't I wasn't that inspired by that much. Like, it was really difficult for me. I was really pushed into songwriting for that album because people really thought I should at least be part of the process. But I was really uncomfortable with it because because I wasn't comfortable with songwriting. I didn't see myself as a songwriter. I just was the girl who like loved to sing pop ballads by Mariah, Whitney, Celine, Alanis Morissette, and then I also grew up singing the standards and everything like that. So I was a little bit uncomfortable with it. But then when I found a group of people that I really jived with, that's when I was like, oh, okay, I see how this could work, but it was difficult for me at times to like find inspiration. Like, well, where do you get inspiration from? And then I realized you just have to kind of go live. Like, you live, and that's where you get inspiration for your songs. And so it was interesting because the release of that album, I went and did a lot of my management put me in a lot of shows, like anything from theater shows to county fairs, where like sometimes 50 people would show up, and then sometimes it'd be like 1,000 people if I was opening for like a country act or something. I mean, there was so many different venues that I did, and that's really where I learned. Like, I really was like, this is what being like an artist, a musician, this is what people love. And because I got to find myself, even if I didn't feel like the finished product, the actual album was like the best version of me as an artist in those songs, I got to find them live. I got to find them performing those songs live for whoever was there. And that only helped me going further with, recording these songs on the album and whether something worked or not. And even making this album, Teresa Lovabera White, who does A&R's like all of Beyonce's, she like discovered Destiny's Child. She's amazing, but she still A&R's all of Beyonce's stuff and helps put all those records together. She was so cool. She's such a good inspiration, motivational person, because she's like, let's not like say what it's gonna be. Like, let's not, the sound is gonna be this, the sound. Let's just throw you like a bunch of different songwriters and get you in different rooms. I had about 3 different writing camps that I was involved with, and I'd go from room to room to room, and you'd find like the 1 or 2 gems in those writing sessions, whatever the few days that we were doing writing sessions, and it was great. Like, that's where I got to find myself.
So interesting, because that sounds more frightening than the previous experience to me. Because it sounds like you're just basically jumping into unknown waters with all these different people, and it sounds very sink or swim. But
I had done that. I mean, they sent me to Nashville on that second record. Yeah. Like, I wasn't pursuing to be a country artist, so I was trying to, and country writers, Nashville writers are amazing writers. They write a lot of different types of stuff. A lot of them are just simply country, but a lot of them are just great storytellers. So you can get great songs out of it. But it was still difficult because I didn't have any connections with anybody out there. I knew more songwriters in LA than I did Nashville. So I felt like that was more uncomfortable.
I'm sorry.
It's also Nashville writing is very different. Like, it's like you meet from 10 to 3.
It's a work day.
And then you're like, they all go home to their families, and it's like, okay, we didn't finish the song. Okay. And then they're off, So, that was more daunting for me.
Katharine McPhee joining us here on The Jolt. It's 18 past the hour. Your music journey has been, in my mind, completely logical, because in order to find that sweet spot, you experiment, right? You try this on, that works. Try that on, no, I don't like that. I go in this room, that feels good. But to do it after you've done this monolithic show like American Idol, and everyone's staring at you,
right?
Like, what are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? How does that not paralyze you creatively?
Well, it does. I mean, that's why I think, you don't get to experience like making a real, like, proper artist record coming off of Idol, because you just don't have the time. There's always like the label says you have this much time and you have to get it out, and you're in this like crazy cycle, and you don't. And so that's why I think that second album, I knew I had to make an album, because I felt like singing is what I like, my first love. So if I don't do it, I don't know what else I would do. I was pursuing acting obviously on the side, but I was like, I don't know what else I would do. This is my love of singing, but I don't know that I love the business. I don't know that I love I just didn't like all the I didn't like the business.
It's not a fun business.
No, I didn't like it at all. And I mean, that's understandable when like you're coming off of, I think probably other artists who don't come off Idol experience it in a different way when
they do.
Like Lady Gaga, how many labels was she dropped from before she actually made it? I mean, it's very difficult business. Like you either sink or you swim, or you kind of. I've been fortunate to kind of just like. I think that's what Idol gives you, a gift, like because you become known more than even like if you don't have a huge hit single out of the gate, you become known for other things, So
you have the opportunity to, I mean, I think you're being very generous to a lot of other people, because I think what you've succeeded at is keeping yourself relevant while you were figuring out the music.
True.
Because let's just be real, y'all. Not everybody who's had that Idol opportunity has managed to stay relevant.
Right.
Those who have done higher, those who have won, have not managed to stay relevant. And you've managed to stay.
Yeah, I've done really well for myself.
You've done extremely well for yourself. So give yourself a little credit for breaking out of the pack.
I'm just explaining the complexities of coming off of a show like that and it not being, someone explained to me once, my first album, I think I sold like 420,000 records or something like that.
Which is great.
For an Idol success, that's like deemed as a failure. But if you were an unknown artist, especially back then, and a label was putting your first album out, and you sold 400 and something thousand records, they'd be like, it's a huge success if you're an unknown artist. But when you're known and you put more money into the marketing and this and that, it's not the same thing. So then a label will then put out another second album to follow. And then like sometimes that's how they used to do it back in the day with artists and stuff.
You're remarkably not jaded for someone who has had no choice but to become almost a professor on the industry. How are you managing that?
Oh, I mean, I definitely, I feel like I was in privately. I think I struggled with, figuring out what success meant to me in terms of like the music stuff, because it was such a like coming off of such a huge thing, and then still having so much success in other ways, like suddenly being able to be completely financially independent. And I mean, honestly, being like really financially stable, that was like a huge thing. And then, but that's the thing about money, is like, it didn't mean anything to me, because I wanted to have the respect. And so that's why when I got Smash, I was so excited, because I got to have another opportunity to show people another side of me. And it was so critically acclaimed, and so that was really, really nice in the beginning, and then people towards the end love to hate watch it. But all of that, like through all of that, I wouldn't say it was like I was jaded, but it definitely, I was more guarded. I was a little bit more bitter about the business like personally, not like, I mean, I always tried to be positive, but internally, yeah, I mean, it was hard. That's why that second album was really hard for me to kind of get behind it, not promoting it, but like actually making it. It was like, I felt like I was sometimes making it, and I didn't really know if I believed it or not, because I was still trying to find myself in it. But it's nice when, I mean, I love that when people listen to it and they like it, that's great. But for me, it's never an album I go back and listen to.
Really? What
I've been finding myself doing, which has been really nice, and this could be the irony of life, is that maybe when this album comes out, people won't get much attention or anything. But it doesn't matter, because I think this is where like life experience and perspective and getting older kind of helps, because I listen, like I've been listening to my songs that are going to be on this album. Like I've been working out to some of the songs, and I've been getting that feeling I get from when I listen to another artist and I get excited about a song that they have. Now, that being said, I probably will get will get sick of it. It's like Sam Smith. I think he's amazing. But if I listen to you lift my heart up when the rest of me is down, I'm like, oh my God, I've been hearing that song for like 3 years because I heard it in London like a year before.
Yeah.
I probably will get like that. But what I mean by all of this is that I'm excited about it, and I don't think I ever had that. I never had that feeling with my own.
This feels like your first record.
Yeah, it does. And I think I probably said that about my second record because I felt that I needed to say that because it was like, that's what you need to do when you promote your own stuff, But the other thing that's been, I find more difficult about promoting music is it is a scarier. It's more, you're more vulnerable because you are selling your own instrument, your own self.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I'm selling Smash or Scorpion or a movie or this and that, you're standing behind the words of a writer who is saying the lines you're speaking, and you do the best you can with what you're given. And there's a little bit more grace with a failure or success of a TV show or this and that. Whereas, but I guess that's what I feel now is like I care, but I don't really care because I feel like I finally got it. I figured it out for myself. And I think that's the most important feeling to have.
Isn't that the best though, when you finally get there?
Yeah.
You got there young.
Yeah.
I mean,
seriously, dude, you got there a lot younger than most of us.
Your viewers are probably like, God, she can talk. Is this like a therapy session or what?
I think I'm having my own kind of weird moment because you and I have talked many times.
Yeah.
You today are channeling my best friend, Kara.
Really?
Kara Diaguardi.
Kara.
She's like one of my oldest and closest friends. I know she worked on your first record.
Oh, yeah, and I wanted to be her.
You look like her to me today. I don't know why you look like her to me today.
Oh,
it's so weird.
She's the most amazing, cool lady.
She's a cool lady and a good mom, too. But back to you. I'm just like, I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, God, you're really, really well-spoken for someone who has kind of had her ass handed to her publicly. And I have a lot of respect for you because you're a resilient, tough chick.
Thanks.
And you're talented as hell, too.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Fabulous.
The album is called Hysteria. It's coming out in the fall. Come back when I can hear more of it.
I'll be back in September.
And we can do some detailed analysis of the tracks.
Oh, yeah. There's There's you people be able to dissect that stuff.
All right. But in the meantime, the single's called "Lick My Lips." Let's listen to it again here on the Jolt.